Why did World War I cause World War II? What you're looking at is the result of one war and the cause of the other. When the fighting finally ended in November 1918, the victorious Allied powers gathered together in the Palace of Versailles to dictate terms to the vanquished Germans. What they came up with was not a peace treaty, but a punishment. A punitive treaty that was designed to humiliate Germany and prevent them from ever starting another war. They lost all of their overseas colonies. They were forbidden from uniting with Austria. Most importantly, they were saddled with massive reparations bills for the damage that they had caused. This map shows the extent of the devastation that Germany was made to pay for. And these documents are the actual treaty. But it wasn't just territory and money that Germany lost. They also lost their sense of national pride. The German people were forced to accept the blame for the war, which many of them felt was unfair. This led to mass protests and the rise of extremist political parties, like the Nazis. So we have war followed by an economic collapse, followed by the rise of a radical new political party. So far, so bad. But how does this lead to another world war? Well, let me show you this poster. On the left, it says "Down with Versailles." On the right, it says Hitler, "Down with the Jews." The Nazis exploited the anger and humiliation that the Versailles Treaty had created. And by the early 1930s, they were the largest political party in Germany. People were desperate for a strong leader who could pull Germany out of the economic crisis. So we have war, economic collapse, political instability. What's next? A war, of course. This timeline shows how each event led to the next. The war ends, the treaty is signed, the Great Depression hits, the Nazis rise to power, and eventually World War II begins. Now, let's bring in some expert analysis. Winston Churchill once said, "The further back you go, the deeper the trouble seems." That's certainly true when it comes to World War II. But in this case, it was the ending of World War I that created the conditions for the Second World War, the unresolved tensions and humiliations of the First. World War gave rise to the extreme nationalism that characterized the 1930s and 40s. As Hitler himself put it, the object of the Versailles Treaty was to humiliate Germany, and that's exactly what happened. But rather than learning from past mistakes, we should remember that when peace is built on punishment, history has a way of repeating itself.